Mindwarp, Mindwarp. Okay, so I'm imagining now that for whatever reason I've been the boss of Doctor Who since the beginning, since 1963, and they present everything to me before they send it out for broadcast. I would have put up with an unearthly child. You had to introduce the series somehow. Verity Lambert didn't care for it much either, supposedly. But I would have been happy with the rest of the season. Whether it would be a ratings hit or not, who knows. But if people under me had composed that first season, I'd be quite happy. Same with season 2 and season 3. For in that one I'd have felt annoyed with the gunfighters and possibly the savages. That one is entirely missing. Hard to gauge how interesting it might have been. From then on, few issues. I'd have had few issues. Not caring about ratings, but simply fun. Impassioned television, I wouldn't have vetoed anything. Yeah, the mutants would seem substandard, but the Pertwee/Letts era was giving such a high quality in general at that time I could have tolerated it. I would have vetoed going back to Peladon after the Monster six-parter, but I wouldn't have been upset. I'd been immensely proud of how the show had so ambitiously developed. Yeah, I would have wished that they could have written a better storyline around the amazing Fourth Doctor's introduction, but the Tom Baker material was so strong, why would I care? The Hand of Fear would feel a bit substandard, would it? But it had such strong production values, and among such a strong run in particular, I would forgive it. Same with Face of Evil Plus, it introduced the magnificent companion Leela. I could forgive Invisible Enemy because it has to introduce K9, who I do quite like, really. I might have suggested axing Stones of Blood if it didn't have interesting visual ideas, suggested halving Armageddon Factor if possible, keep Anthony Reid around to script edit Destiny of the Daleks, or at least keep it away from Adam's condescending humour anyway, cut down Creature from the Pit, recast Horns of Nemon without Graham Crowden, or just ditch it and make Shada instead. Then in Fifth Doctor, I'd revamp Time Flight, maybe beef out King's Demons, The Awakening, but otherwise, I'd alter nothing, really. Well, maybe I'd cut The Awakening and sort of beef up some of the production values and maybe the writing in Warriors of the Deep. Possibly, you know. And then Colin Baker's era. So Twin Dilemma needs a serious reworking. 2 Doctors can be relegated to 2 45-minute parts, and Time Lash can probably be ditched altogether. And then Mindwarp, I would have asked for J&T to resign at the end of the season. Now, J&T seemed relatively hands-off by comparison in the mostly quite admirable McCoy era, and so this may have worked out in the long run. Now, we never got beyond McCoy's 3rd season, but at least the show got to be itself again without having to pander to ratings, gimmicks, or a vain, so they say, all-powerful producer. I love the idea of an 8th Doctor portrayed by Richard Griffiths. The What If Doctor Who Was an Axed project from Benjamin Winderbank is really exciting, and I've been looking at their stuff lately. I wish the wiki was more detailed because I find it difficult to gauge the timeline beyond having to listen to particular podcasts, at least.